Welcome. Let's talk about the Frigid Bond Hierophant. Frigid Bond is a support gem that can support link skills, causing them to deal cold damage over time. Normally links can be used only on party members, but with a specific minion defense mastery, they can be used on minions as well. We recommend tethering the character to the animated guardian. It can be equipped with a variety of items that would improve its defenses and support your character alike. It's also a great opportunity to use the Hand of FRIGID gloves, which increases the effect of your auras by up to 40% while you are linked to a target. It overrides the generosity support restriction, so you can link your auras with it too for another 44% increased effect of auras. You can even allocate nearly 50% additional aura effect from the passive skill tree for a total of over 130% increased aura effect at a relatively small cost. The damage will linger after the enemies step away from the beam. The link also won't break instantly the moment your AG is out of range or finds itself separated from you by a wall. Frigid Bond will start to shimmer, letting you know there's an obstacle in its way. During this time it remains fully functional. Frigid Bond, being a support gem that scales up well with gem level, is the sole reason to use Forbidden Shaco, which could set it up to level 35. It can reach 19k of base cold DOT. To put it into perspective, Vortex's damage is not even 12k at the same gem level. This will result in around 4 mil DPS, not very high. We're using Purity of Ice, Fire, Lightning, Determination and Tempest Shield, with instant life recovery on block and gradual energy shield recovery after taking physical damage. With Defiance of Destiny and some extra physical damage reduction, the build is nearly unkillable. The clear speed is low and the movement is clunky. The Legacy of Fury boots do the legwork in this department. The boss damage is not exceptionally high, but you will be able to clear tier 17 maps. The price is disproportionately high for its performance, and some of the items are very hard to get. We've employed several unique items. Forbidden Shaco and the Hand of FRIGID are a must-have, and the Brass Dome, Defiance of Destiny, Mark of the Shaper and the Surrender are also great. Having a unique body armor is a major advantage due to the +2 to socketed auras corrupted implicit. You will also need a pair of Forbidden Jewels. These are cheap. Frigid Bond scales well with gem level. The best way to gain a high support gem level is via Forbidden Shaco. For the minor support gem, pick one from the listed support gems in the gem setup section. The Surrender has high armor, maximum life, chance to block, and a lot of life instantly recovered on block. The build has poor recovery, making it particularly good, but it also has low block chance, so it's not reliable. If you want to use more mana reserving skills, such as Discipline or Petrified Blood, Prism Guardian is probably the best shield. It would require some adjustment to other skill setups to fit in these extra auras. The Brass Dome is used for armor, a lot of additional maximum elemental resistances, and to take no extra damage from critical strikes. It's the easiest way to cap your maximum resistances at 90%. As we already have to use a helmet and gloves with no maximum life on them, you can commit to it fully and wear items with no life at all, to get up to 1000 of it from Utula's Hunger. With Prism Guardian and the Ivory Tower, you could reserve all your life for even more auras. It would alter the build in a way that we don't plan to cover in this guide. The Hand of FRIGID, the 40% bonus aura effect is a lot. Because of these gloves and their interaction with generosity support, we use a lot of auras, corrupt them for an implicit like elemental weakness on hit or increased level for socketed minion gems. We recommend putting Legacy of Fury on your animated guardian, but if you want to use Utula's Hunger, you may as well wear them yourself. The Scorch and Explosions are essential. The full list of AG's items is provided in a separate text guide. If you have a lot of maximum life and you need more energy shield to, for example, benefit from Mind over Matter, you can go for Replica Soul Tether. There aren't a lot of cases in which it's better than a rare Stygian Vice. You could link your Frostbite and Elemental Weakness to Blasphemy instead of Arcanist Brand if you have the right Impresence amulet. Besides maximum life and this big QOL, there's nothing else here. Defensive-wise, there is no better amulet than Defiance of Destiny, especially if your character is already very durable. It recovers your life before you receive a hit. After upgrading it with catalysts, Mark of the Shaper can grant you nearly 100% increased spell damage on top of 10% increased maximum life and ES, which is great. Remember to put an Elder-influenced Rare Ring too to gain this damage bonus. You have 4 power charges, which puts you in a position where you can apply 4 curses without even allocating Whispers of Doom. Just put the Anathema on. The issue is that we lack gem sockets and a convenient way to apply this many curses, so it's not as great. Your AG's curse limit is 1 by default. You cannot use it to apply these extra curses using its items. As the build is socket starved, you may be tempted to use Hungry Loop and host your AG setup here. Add Empower Support as the 4th support gem to increase AG's maximum life. We have socketed Brutal Restraint near the instability notable to gain more dexterity. You can gain even 40 or 60 more dexterity if it upgrades the right notables in the right way. If that's the case, you won't need this attribute on your items. Rational Doctrine, Consecrated Ground, regenerates life and halves the effect of curses on you. Profane Ground applies minus 10% to all resistances to your enemies. Balance your attributes using tattoos and items to gain both of these effects. Find a pair of Forbidden Flame and Flesh with Guardian's Harmony of Purpose passive. It's inexpensive and invaluable. Physical damage taken as fire, lightning, or cold while affected by Purity of Fire, Lightning, and Ice is the best combination of modifiers on a Watcher's Eye. You're also using Determination and Malevolence. These have great mods too. Your biggest concerns are Chaos Resistance, Maximum Life, Block Chance, and some life recovery mechanics as you cannot leech from DOT. If your AG has Gravebind gloves, you won't even be able to gain life, or anything else for that matter, on kill. Your elemental resistances are provided by 3 Purity Auras. You won't need them on your gear at all. These will also set your maximum elemental resistances at 90%. Usually it's the suffix's job to grant you elemental resistances, but as it is no longer the case, you can focus on other stats like chaos resistance or spell suppression. You still won't be able to reach 100% spell suppression chance, as the helmet and gloves grant you none, but one can try to get close to that with proper boots and the instinct notable. Frigid bond damage is affected by any modifiers to spell damage, but the DOT multiplier is the most valuable stat. Generic cold elemental spell damage is not as good. Remember, it's you who deal all the damage, not your minion. Use tattoos to gain chaos resistance, increased minion life, and reduced curse effect on you. Get cold damage or damage over time multiplier with generic spell and elemental damage. The +1 to the level of all spell skill, Gems modifier, is only useful if you want your auras at a higher level, but it's not necessarily needed. It's a very rare and expensive mod. Rare Shield can provide basic stats like suppression or chaos resistance, but extra maximum resistances, reservation efficiency, or instant life recovery on block could be useful. Increased movement speed, maximum life, and chaos resistance are the most important stats on your boots. For the Eldritch mods, get chaos resistance or life regeneration. The belt is an opportunity to get more maximum life, chaos resistance, and strength that will probably be needed. There's a huge variety of amulet modifiers that can suit this build, most notably DOT mods to increase your cold damage. Maximum life, attributes, and chaos resistance should be present here as well. There are only a few good mods you can source from a rare ring. Try to gain a lot of them here. There are no Elder mods worth mentioning, but it's mandatory to have this influence with the Mark of the Shaper. We don't plan to host more than one rare jewel, but if you have a Stygian Vice, you'll put one with maximum life, chaos resistance, and preferably increased DOT there. The block chance is sourced mainly from shield, so it's not very high, but you have a lot of spell block chance. Use Rumi's concoction to get even more of it. It's good with Divine Shield, Surrender, and Safeguard. Progenesis causes a portion of incoming damage to be taken as DOT instead. With Defiance of Destiny, Surrender, and High Life Regeneration, it's very effective at preventing damage. For Magic Flasks, get a life one with Bleed Immunity, a Basalt, Quartz, and Quicksilver Flasks, with suffixes for increased armor, reduced effect of shock, and reduced effect of curses on you or increased movement speed. The following setup must be socketed in Forbidden Shaco. The item has to contain a high-level Frigid Bond and one secondary support gem from this list. Keep Protective Link at level 1. It mirrors your attack block chance onto your linked target. Support it with Hypothermia, Controlled Destruction, Elemental Focus, Swift Affliction, and of course, Frigid Bond, preferably at level 35. Purity of Fire, Purity of Ice, and Purity of Lightning will grant you more resistances and maximum resistances. The gem level should reach 23 for the extra 1% maximum resistance, which will be magnified via increased aura effect. You should socket them in the body armor alongside Determination for added and increased armor, and level 5 Awakened Generosity support. Convocation is used to recall your AG back to you. Use it when you want to change its position, which will happen often. Frostbite lowers cold resistance and increases your chance to freeze with skills that hit, like Frostblink. Elemental Weakness lowers all elemental resistances, including cold resistance. Arcanist Brand casts these curses for you, saving you a button to press. And this whole setup can be omitted if you have a specific rare ring with Frostbite on hit and gloves with Elemental Weakness on hit, but such items can be hard to get. Malevolence increases skill effect duration and grants more damage over time multiplier. It is a temporary aura when linked up with Divine Blessing. You should be able to afford it with Eldritch Battery. Frostblink is the mobility skill that is significant in this build. Use it to adjust your position and catch enemies in the Frigid Beam. Link it to Bone Chill support. Enemies chilled by Frostblink take increased cold damage. Link Molten Shell to cast when damage taken. It's a guard spell that absorbs a portion of incoming hit damage for some time. Tempest Shield improves your spell block chance and shocks enemies on block. It's not an aura and does not scale with aura effect. Animate Guardian is the minion you will link up with. His support gems are Minion Life, Elemental Army, and Meat Shield. It will make it much more tanky, but if that's not enough, try to increase AG's gem level. When dealing with bandits, kill them all to receive 2 additional skill points. Brine King seems like the best option. It reduces the effect of chill, grants freeze immunity, and prevents getting stunned many times over. For a minor god, you could pick Aberrath, Garakan, or Gruthkul, depending on what you're struggling with the most or what type of content are you playing to face. On the passive skill tree, seek maximum life, minions maximum life, elemental damage, cold damage over time, and generic damage over time. Don't forget about the sovereignty and influence clusters for aura effect and reservation efficiency. For keystones, allocate Eldritch Battery and Divine Shield. For minion defense masteries, get the ability to link up with your minions and increase minions' maximum life. For reservation masteries, get an increased aura effect and increased damage per aura on you. For life mastery, get 50 more life. For elemental mastery, improved elemental exposure. And for link mastery, elemental exposure. That should be it. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you soon.